Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level best of 3. Today we have none other than your boy Serral here in the bottom right, taking on Vitality's Ryung. And I know what you're thinking, it's like a harstem. Ryung versus Serral. This is going to be a one-sided slap, okay? This is going to be a game of front-hand, backhand that Ryung didn't know he signed up for. But it's actually not true. Ryung is one of these players whom I believe to be very powerful against even the highest level of players. He tends to have good plans, good execution, and whenever he gets into a late game, he's actually a very dangerous gamer. Serral here even respects Ryung so much that he did some research. He's like, hey, Ryung, isn't that the type of guy to open up with a CC first every now and again? Or with a double Rex proxy? And he's going to open up with a pool first. It is rare for Serral to make this type of play, but I've seen him do it against people that are committed cannon rushers, where he'll change up his opener, and also if he believes someone is very likely to go for any type of early barracks proxy. So definitely putting some respect on Ryung's name there. Our man Serral, still the #1 ranked player in the world, of course. People sometimes forget it because he's been there for so long, you know. Sometimes have that when I go to the doctor. I'm not sure how it is with your guys' doctor, but you make an appointment for a certain time, but time at the doctor's office seems to be fairly fluid, like a fluid concept for the doctor themselves. Like the doctor's office opens at like 8 a.m. or so, and I can have an appointment for 8:05, and he'll already be delayed by 25 minutes, which makes no sense because they've only been active for 5. And then they take an afternoon lunch break to pretty much reset the time that they're behind. And then immediately they're behind another 35 minutes. I have no clue how this is possible. And you'd reckon after running the doctor's office for a while that maybe you'd get a bit better at estimating, you know, the time that is required for a general meeting with a patient. But yeah, that's kind of what it is like with Serral as well, you know. He's sitting in the doctor's office and the doctor might have forgotten about him. It's like how people forget that he's still the rank 1. It's like he's been there for so long. That's actually the worst thing that can happen if you visit a business and they forget that you're there. And you have to remind them. We had that the other day when we went to a restaurant and they just forgot that we were sat far in the back. They just forgot to give us our drinks for like an hour. After reminding them that they had to give us our drinks. But oh well. Life is not always easy, as these first 6-8 links, I don't know, I can't count, are going to enter the main base here. Ooh, a couple more showing up as well. This is a tough start for Ryung instantly, who is playing fairly greedy, of course. Not even a full wall in his main base. Loses 5 SCVs here. A lot of mining time on mules, on SCVs. Full scout here for Serral as well, and I think Serral is going to be over the moon with the outcome of this early little ling rush. So this was kind of the backup plan. You know, the initial plan was, hey, I don't want to die to a proxy 2-Rex. And then the backup plan was, if he doesn't 2-Rex me, I'm just going to run by with a bunch of my links who will have speed and see if I can deal some damage. And boy, did he deal some freaking damage. I'm expecting Ryung, by the way, to go for a mech opener here. I'd be shocked to see him play bio. In general, I'm kind of shocked when I see lower level players go for bio against Serral because they seem so ridiculously good against it. So yeah, there we go. Second factory is going to come down here already. Viking is going to pop out here, but that's a very fast second fact. I'm a big fan of that. Overlord is going to get taken out by that Viking. Third factory is on the way here as well, so most likely one more tech lab, and we pretty much have our early game set up here for Ryung. On Serral's side of things, we have what? 2 more queens on the way. A total queen count of 4 already. So that means that we're going up to 6. Wouldn't surprise me if we go up to 7, 8, 9 queens. It's a fairly normal way of doing business in this matchup. Overlords are being pulled back. It's also the way it's supposed to be. Link Scout wants to go in. Is gonna get nothing. Absolutely no read there whatsoever for Serral. It is a bit odd though that Hellions are at home. You know, it's not necessarily a tell that it is going to be mech, but it usually is a tell that something weird is happening. You know, your significant other starts turning the phone around or like turning it down the moment you enter a room. Like either they're planning a surprise party or they're cheating on you. But yeah, either way, it's most likely gonna suck. So it's definitely a warning sign here. And I think Okay, yeah, we're going to get a Spore Crawler in at least the third base. I wouldn't mind seeing a Spore in the main either, because there is a possibility of like a Battlecruiser follow-up. Not having Spores ready for Battlecruisers is usually a big mistake. Gonna even get this Spore here in the main base. We do have a Baneling Nest. No Evo Chambers quite yet. Knowing Serral, I think he's going to double Overseer here. So one Overseer at home. We're most likely going to get one Overseer. This one's going to go towards the other side of the map to see what the hell is actually going on. Spire coming down right now. I think this is in preparation of a Battlecruiser, by the way, if I were to guess. I think Serral's play... This is... People might look at this and think, okay, this is for Muta, but I believe this Spire is a little bit late for Muta, and Serral here is like second Spore. He's absolutely preparing for Battlecruiser fly-ins right now. Whether it's going to be single or double port BC, I don't think Serral really knows. Serral does know that something weird is going on, and most likely the weird thing is going to be mech as well, as this thing could get sniped here. I don't think Ryung is paying attention. Let's take a quick look at what he's doing. Okay, there we go. No, doesn't see it. Double Cyclones in the natural. Quadruple Cyclones here are latching onto that Overseer. Spire is most likely going to finish up just as a backup, but it is not necessary anymore. I'd be shocked to see a single Muta coming out of this. I actually would be kind of surprised. I don't think that would be standard at all. At the same time, we have a pretty significant Ling run by coming in this depot wall just slightly too late. As Ryung getting a little bit unlucky there, pulls away the SCVs at an instant. Hellions need to come in and help, but they're not being controlled. A significant mistake here out of Ryung, who's going to lose quite a bit of mining. Couple of Hellions here as well. Is even moving back home here with all of his Hellions and Cyclones. This run by is going to get shut down. Serral, by the way, still only on 4 bases and 73 drones. Is going to build his Mutas. This is honestly the last thing that I had expected. And they started fairly late as well. He definitely had to think about it. Maybe he was waiting for the BCs to show up and now realized, hey, these BCs are actually never going to show up. So, you know, what's the plan here? Because this freaking sucks. Viking is going to move towards the bottom side. I think the Mutas might just go towards the far left. That seems like a kind of a logical path to take. There is no eBay in the mix quite yet. If this Viking spots the Mutas, that would be a huge deal. So if you don't spot the Mutas, they might just end up getting a lot of kills here. If you get just a couple of Cyclones at home, though, defensively, that could be huge as well. Here comes the flank. Serral knows what he's doing. Forces this army back onto creep, which is super uncomfortable, obviously, here for Ryung, who is now going to get completely blasted as the Mutas return to help out as well. Get a couple of lock-ons onto those Mutas. One Muta is going to end up falling, but there's really not that many Cyclones remaining as the Hellions move around. I think just trying to distract the Muta list. We have 4 more Mutas on the way. We got a Roach Warren, second Evo Chamber, so it's going to just be Ravager, Ling, Bane behind this, I think. I don't think we're going to see a mass Muta game coming out of this. This is actually a very good pickup for Ryung as well. Gets 3-4 Mutas or so. A couple of Lings are going to end up falling here too, though majority does manage to escape. Okay, 3 more Mutas. This is somewhat surprising. I would have expected a faster infestation pit into a hive. But Serral actually seems to be pretty keen here on continuing his Muta dominance. Baneling run-by is going to be set up. We'll have to go through this wall first, and I guess that's what these Banelings will be for. Because they can't just walk into this mineral line. Ryung, by the way, severely oversaturated on this third base. 4CC is on the way, but fairly late. Mines are being set up. We don't have an eBay yet. We don't have any turrets yet either. So mines are actually going to be the main method of dealing with this problem. Vehicle plating level 1 is going to be the only upgrade we have. Cyclone's now moving in position to deal with this. We get 1 lock on, but does not manage to clear anything. Serral scouts the lack here of a 4th base. Must be somewhat confusing at least. I mean, he has his own 5th, he has his own 6th. He's got a hive on the way. Got some upgrades. I think Serral's in a fairly decent position right now. It's going to be tough for Ryung to get anything going. The problem is that the moment that you lose your map control with Heli and Cyclone, it just becomes significantly worse. Like, Heli and Cyclone really thrives off of being split in 2 groups and forcing the Zerg to engage off-creep into them in order not to lose bases. That always kind of feels like the key point of this composition, as we're going to get a Baneling Muta run by here into this base. Sensor tower gets picked up, 1 turret goes down as well. Depot wall is most likely going to fall here too, as Cyclones are moving in position and actually are going to get 1 Muta, but 6 depots, a sensor tower, a turret and 3 SCVs. Definitely an okay trade here for Serral, who's already moving into Neural Parasite as well. So preparing for a Thor transition before it even happens. And that usually is the best timing to prepare for things, before they happen. Like if the zombie apocalypse starts tomorrow and you don't have your anti-zombie gun and, you know, a couple of liters of water in the trunk, you're gonna be in some trouble. And it's the same against Thors. Because the Thor is just a very, very powerful unit to have. Okay, we have Burrow, Adrenal Glands. Drilling Claws coming out here as well. This is still a very kind of primitive army that Ryung is working with. I'm not saying necessarily that Serral has like this great, you know, this great sophistication in his army, but it does feel like he's prepared for what is coming. And he seems really comfortable as well. Like he's getting 6 upgrades at a time. That is not the sign of someone that feels like they're about to die. Oh, here comes a flank. We have some mines to stop these links from hitting too much. It's actually going to work relatively well here for Ryung as he kites back to the planetary. I do believe that Serral needs to be a little bit careful moving off of creep. Like, you lose 5-6 Ravagers on the retreat or so against these Cyclones. You could all of a sudden be in some serious trouble because there's a lot of supply in these Mutas. Oh, yeah, this could actually be quite bad for Serral. I'm a little bit afraid for him right now. He has so much supply as well into drones and into Mutas that his actual standing army ain't all that good. And the Cyclone count here is fairly decent. A couple of them are going to end up falling. Do we have some scans available? No, it seems like we don't. So another bailing run by is going to hit a lot of these SCVs. And Ryung is definitely struggling to deal with the multitasking. But this army is not necessarily a free cleanup here for Serral. So, oh, nice micro there with that mine. Lingbane reinforcements are being picked up as well. Follow-up is going to be Greater Spire. So it seems like Serral is setting up for a late game transition here. Microbial Shroud as well coming in. I don't think Microbial actually works against Cyclone lock-ons, the Mech Field Accelerators, because I feel like it acts as spell damage. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Here we go. Cyclone's now moving backwards. Once again locking in. Or locking on. There's 2 more CCs are being added into the mix. I mean, Ryung's position is legitimately garbage, but his army ain't that bad. And that's the thing that kind of does worry me. Like, we're looking at the resource lost here, and it's been relatively even. If Serral, however, takes 1 bad fight into freaking 25 Cyclones, you're probably going to lose 2-3 bases at the same time. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. And a lot of drones with it as well. And it's not like the bank is so insane that, you know, that it's okay. It's also not like Serral's army is so insane that he can't lose a fight. No, Serral absolutely can lose fights. This is an army that is very capable of losing fights. I've seen it many times with my own eyes. Losing fights with like Ravager, Roach, even with Infestors in the mix is completely possible. Don't forget, these armies are going to be split right now. Serral is up about 30 workers. That means his army supply is about 30 lower as well. Like, it's just an awkward position all around. We're definitely going to need a bit of a scan here forward. Oh, that's going to be 3 Cyclones that will end up falling. The rest of the Cyclones also trying to kind of latch on to onto this opportunity, but there's nothing down here. Serral completely caught out of position. Did not believe that Ryung really had such a big army, but this base is completely toast. It's just gonna die, guaranteed. Serral's still not splitting away from that force. By the way, as a big fungal is going to connect with 4 Hellions and 2 Cyclones. That is a fairly big deal. There's a good portion of the army that just went down. But we still have to deal with this force as well. 5th base behind this is just setting up. More command centers on the way. And for the first time in this game, it feels like Ryung is at least in control of where the fights are happening. The creep is still a serious issue, especially towards the middle bases. But if we count bases, which I know we're all capable of, it's actually 5 versus 5 right now, which generally is considered to be good for Terran. Now, Serral does believe that he has an opportunity here, but I'm not sure if he can attack into this. Oh, we're gonna get a full burrow. Couple of big neural parasites here. 1, 2, 3, 4 Cyclones are being taken over. One of them one of the Infestors loses its grip on one of the Cyclones. We got more of these guys moving forward right now. It's still 188 supply to 180 though, so not necessarily what we call like an unwinnable fight for Ryung. As a couple of Banshees are now being added into the mix. We have a triple port Banshee plus Raven transition. Hyperflight Rotors as well. We get a split off onto those freaking Cyclones. Because the Serral army is really not that good when split up. It's kind of okay when it's all together, but splitting up Infestors can be tough. Oh, there's no freaking scan with this. That really sucks. Mine is stopping this base from happening, by the way. I'd love to see a 6th base coming in relatively soon here as well. Maybe even a planetary at this 3rd base could be fairly helpful. As the Infestors now move towards the left, they have a plan. Uh-oh. If this Raven moves with the downward, like the downstairs army, with the left side army, that could be detrimental. Oh, does Ryong see it? He doesn't see it. He's going to be in so much trouble right now. Oh. Good little scan there. The last moment. Neural parasites. I think 4 cyclones end up falling. Correct call here, of course, is the counter attack, as a couple of Brute Lords are now being built. Like, these trades have not been good for Serral. They have not been good for Serral. This, however, is a great move for Serral. This little Ling run by over here. I really believe that Serral should be trying to lower his overall drone count. I think one of the issues right now is that his army supply is just fairly low. He's trying to craft an army that can fight straight up against the Terran. And is going to become very efficient. But he needs to force the fights in locations where he wants them to happen. That's going to be one of the key things over here. Don't forget, Banshees are actually really strong in this situation too. Like, you send 4 Banshees to this topside base, that base dies. 2 Banshees over here, like this base is actually in a bit of trouble. There's not that much natural anti-air here. There's actually no real natural anti-air. We get 1 scan. Ooh, all of these infestors in so much trouble. 4 infestors going down, 5 infestors, 6, almost 7 infestors going down for the price of 3, 4 cyclones. These Banshees also snipe 1 infestor. There are some spines on the way, but they don't shoot up. This is such a cute little transition. If these Banshees just get pulled back, you can still attack this topside base. We had a little Cyclone Hellbat run by here on the bottom side as well. Sadly, that is going to get cleaned up. But we have a very weird style of mech that is being played here right now. Thors are being added into the mix as well. It feels like Ryong is just trying to kind of stall out until he has an army that can deal with the Thors. Has gotten slightly higher worker count overall as well now than before. Before I think it was like 65, 64. Now back up to 70, which, I mean, it's something. It's not brilliant, but I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. So much map control for the Terran at the moment. Or at least that's what it feels like. As, ooh, nice fungal. It's actually going to cost him both of these Banshees. That almost looked like the Broodlings killed the Banshee. But of course, it was the Queen damage that did it. Because the Brute Lords cannot shoot up. Smart Servals on the way finally here as well for Ryong. Taking this as a 6th would be huge, because it would kind of stop all these run-bys from happening the entire time, which has been just extraordinarily frustrating, if you ask me, and probably also if you ask Ryong. I don't think he's been the biggest fan of all of that. We have this Brute Lord little attack coming in forward right now. What is the... Actually, no, the upgrades are really whack. They're really, really bad right now. Ryong doesn't have any attack upgrades on anything. He's getting vehicle weapons +1, so that's going to help the Thors at least a little bit. Oh, Brute Lords are seeing this, as this army is going to get pulled towards the top side. 3 Marines moving, I don't know quite where. Like, Serral really needs to start thinking about the future of his life as well, you know? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, he's on these 6 bases, he's trying to get a 7th, but how reliable is it to hold this? He's not mining from this gold anymore. He did mine a little bit of gas, but not a whole lot. Like, he really wants to fight, and it shows. Like, he's continuously pushing into this area, and he's ready to go right now. As the Brute Lords are flying above the army, gonna start working on that sensor tower. Now gonna start working here on this planetary as well. A couple of Biles could help out for sure. Can we get a Neural Parasite? Can we get some Fungals into the mix? There's not a whole lot of natural anti-air. I think Neural Parasite on really anything you can grab is going to be a big deal. As Ryong is definitely struggling to keep his army alive. At the same time, we have a huge run-by. Oh no. Huge run-by over here. And also a huge run-by on this top base. I mentioned it before, having a planetary there wouldn't be that bad, but Ryong didn't want to do it. And now Ryong is paying the price as he's lost 30 SCVs overall. This base is not mining. Middle base is not mining. I feel like Ryong is definitely dying here. Ling reinforcements coming in. I would have loved to see like an Ultra being built right in this moment. I feel like Ultras defensively can be so strong, but Serral here just sticking with his Ravager Infestor is probably just going to push this away either way. As slowly but surely Ryong is falling apart here to the pressure that the Finnish Zerg has been putting onto him. And the resources lost actually back to being completely even. This is one of the things that is... It's like a rare Zerg, you know? It is... When you open your card of Pokemon cards and one of them is shiny, I think that's considered something good. It's like a hologram or whatever. Like that is what Serral does in ZVT. Like he's the only one. It's like this weird ability to just get even fights over very long periods of time as well. Like usually at this point we'd be seeing 30 to 18k, but right now we're seeing 33 to 30k, and it really changes the outcome of the game. Like, there's about 11k resources in the bank, and those are just the resources that Serral saved by trading better. Like, that is the... It's not like Serral has been doing a crazy good job keeping bases alive and outmining his opponent. Like, yes, he's done that as well, but really the main reason why he's winning this game is due to the fantastic fighting that no other Zerg can really emulate, or at least struggles massively to emulate. This thing's also being attacked here right now. Or sorry, attacked is also being mined. So this base is going. This thing is still... I wonder how many drones this mine has killed. I guess 3, because it just says 3 kills. And I think all of them are probably drones that were sent there. Broodlords are now going to move over to try and deal with this Widow mine. It's not the most common solution to a problem, but it is a solution nonetheless. Overseer is going to walk over there as well. Serral really wants to take full map control right now, and I'm all here for it, really. Like, I just don't see a way for Ryung to get back out onto the map. He has a very awkward army as well. Raven count is fairly decent. There's interference matrix on the way here too, which is just going to be so useful. You can interference matrix infestors after they use their neural, and then it cancels their neural. So the Raven is a fantastic tool at dealing with infestors using neural parasite on units. I think it's one of the tools that has been used the least to deal with it, but it is something that I've seen out of a player like Special before and Ryung. Like, these guys are really fond of playing these Raven styles to counter the infestor rather than having to go into Ghost, which moves in a different way. There's nothing wrong with moving in your own way, but it makes it a little bit harder to control the army. As Ryung is just kind of moving backwards right now. Double Broodlord harass, love to see it. Sensor tower being blasted straight in the face. And Serral, I think, here is running... he's just running into trade. Like, if he can win this fight, fantastic. If he can't win this fight, less fantastic, I guess. As Neural Parasite's going down. All the turrets now being placed behind his army as well. Might actually get an Infestor or two, which is kind of cute, but it's just not going to be good enough. As Serral is going to pick up game number 1 here in this best of 3 on Taito Citadel. You know, I actually really respect this move out of Ryung as well. He says, you know what? The first game you played pool first. And this is an intimidation tactic. And if there's one thing that Ryung doesn't succumb to, it is intimidation. Okay? He sees that as a challenge, if anything. It's like, okay, you think you've got me all figured out, showing pool first in game number 1. Guess what? Game number 2, I'm going to go for my proxy barracks. And I bet you're going to play hatch first. And Serral indeed is going for the hatch first. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Serral is dead. But these barracks are extraordinarily close. Really freaking close here to the Zerg base. I wonder if Serral is going to use this Overlord as a bit of a, a little bit of an explorer. See if he can find some barracks. If he can't, this is a short rush distance. And I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be game over at an instant, but I am familiar with Ryung's game. And I think this is going to be a triple bunker rush. I actually believe this to be a full-on triple bunker rush. 1, 2, 3. Now, I do believe you need a little bit more to full wall this, but I still think that is exactly what he's going for right now. Here we go. Look at them. All of them lining up at the exact same time. Let's take a look. How fast is this response out of Serral? Is he pulling the boys? Yes, he's pulling about 8 or 9. Here comes the third bunker. Like I said, this is not a full wall quite yet. There is a bit of a gap over here. Serral is just going to go for the bunkers rather than going for the drones, which I guess is fair play. He loses 2 drones at an instant pretty much. Oh, that thing dies. Third Marine now shows up. Third drone also falls. 4th drone falls. Get a full surround though. 5 drones, 6 drones going down. But the bunker rush has been stopped, I think. Ooh, that was close. That was real close. Lots of mining time being lost. 7 drones. Can we get 8? I think we can almost get 8. Bunkers are going up still. And don't forget, this spine crawler also costs money to build. Like, spine crawlers ain't free. Spine crawlers absolutely ain't free. But this has a beginning and an end, this push. Oh, it's going to be a gasless follow-up here. And I think this push is coming to an end. This is a gasless one. So usually we see a refinery being used behind this, but he's actually just going to go for a really quick command center right now. Had this been a proper 3-Rex or something along those lines, by the way, I actually believe that Ryung would have just straight up won the game. Okay, he's going to use this command center to full wall off this area. Wanted to build it on the low ground, but was afraid of the Ling run by. Fair play to him. So, look at Serral here. Just waiting on the top of the ramp. Seeing what was coming up. So this is the difference between Serral and not Serral. Stood on top of the ramp, creating an opportunity, potentially, if only 2 or 3 Marines come back that are damaged, he'll kill them. But he just checks, and he's checking the entire time, and he sees, okay, it's 4 Marines. I'm just going away. I'm not going to try to fight there. So a lot of Zergs probably would have like walked into this general area and said, hey, I want to see if I can kill a CC, but Serral respected his opponent, said the CC is probably going to be on the low ground, maybe even saw it with the Overlord, got that confirmation. And I said, I don't want to go in here. This is a death trap. If there's a wall here, I'm going to lose 4 links. So really freaking cool play out of Serral. Like freaking big respect for that move. Because these links just go in to get the confirmation here as well. Make sure that there is a CC coming up. It's going to be triple. Oh my god. This is such a disgusting build. This is actually such a disgusting build. So this dies against everything. Like there's not a single thing that this holds. Like this could be a link flood, you're dead. Baneling, dead. Roaches, dead. Like everything that is done of lair of a low worker count just straight up kills Ryang here. However, if there's nothing aggressive happening, we now have triple CC. We're going to get the most insane upgrade timing in the entire world. Like, even for a standard opener, or standard triple CC, this would be relatively quick E-base. But this opened up with a 2-Rex that ended up killing 7 workers, which, I mean, it's probably not what he wanted with this 2-Rex, but it's still quite a bit. Like, this is not a standard game. This is not at all a standard game. So I am kind of curious to see what's gonna go down here. It's gonna go down in the DMs. Okay. 2 Marines. Sorry, 2 links. Looking for some answers. Not gonna see a whole lot though. Let's see what Serral's response is to scouting nothing. He's not the type of guy to gamble. So there could be multiple things happening, right? He is obviously aware of the fact that it could be an all-out greed, which is what we are seeing already. But this could also just be double port Banshee, or a battlecruiser rush, or double factory blue flame Hellion, or a 3-Rex or a 5-Rex that's happening off 2 bays. Because look at the lack of info that Serral has here. Like, he's using a single link to scout, make sure that nothing leaves the main base. I'd love to have another link over here as well, just to get that extra confirmation. He's seen a lot of Marines. And I think this is as much a bait to show what type of tech you have, as well as... Like, this is not just an... Like, this is like a vibe check, pretty much. It's like, hey, are the vibes good on your side? Like, do we have enough units? Like, what is going on? So if 4 Hellions now would have come out to defend these initial 5 Marines, that would have been a lot of information. Instead, we're going to get double overs here, so still the confirmation that Serral wants is going to come at some point. This is such an issue, though. Look at this. Single Evo chamber, 6 minutes and 30 seconds in. 1-1 already finished up before the first upgrade starts. So we're going to have about a 4 upgrade lead at some point for Ryang. Or sorry, for a 3 upgrade lead at some point for Ryang. Which is actually going to be a very serious issue. Overseer's now moving in. Not sure if he knows exactly what's going on. Sees the double eBay. Did not see the armory already finishing up, though. Like, that could have been big information. There's a couple of links are going to end up falling. 3 of them to be exact. 60 workers to 50. First 2 medevacs are going to be on the way. I wonder if he waits with those medevacs and first gets the 2-2. I'd reckon we're going to see 2-2 first. Yep, there we go. He's like, you know what? I don't actually care very much about that. This almost feels like an 8-Rex setup, by the way. I don't think it is going to be one, because the tank count is going to be pathetic. Instead, it's just going to be, okay, reactor here. So it's going to be mines. It's going to be an epic macro game. Or, well, an epic one. It's going to be a macro game. Or at least that's going to be the intention here. As a 1-1 has now been spotted. 2-2 already on the way. I think this probably worries Serral a decent amount. One of the toughest moments for Zerg, to me, always feels like 140 to 160 supply. Or, like, say, when Terran is like 140 to 160 supply. They have +2 upgrades, and Zerg is just on 1-1. This is often before infestors are out, so you're dealing with like high marine counts, some factory units, like mines, tanks, and all you have is Queenling Bane. And that can be very frustrating. Like, if you have infestors at that moment already, that is completely fine, but if you don't, and you're fighting against this type of a setup, it can actually be really freaking tough. It's gonna go for borrowed banelings here. To kind of try and deal with these higher marine counts. I think this is a very reasonable thing to do as well, by the way. Like, this is not by any stretch a crazy call. Not in my mind, at least. Okay, we're gonna see these the first borrowers right now. That's great. It's rare to see Serral do this, by the way. It's a rare treat. Just gonna go first person a little bit. So there's players that would really try to bait out the opponent here. But he's trying to push him into this. Okay, it's not working out. Okay, Serral is putting these somewhere else, at least for now. Good lift. Ooh, not a whole lot of Marines, though. And this natural is completely out in the open. At the same time, Serral also needs to be careful here, dealing with the threat that is at home. 2-2 not quite done. That's going to be +1 carapace against 1-1 Marine mine. Oh, this base is going to go down. That's the 5th. So it's going to be a 5th loss versus a 3rd lift. With that also quite a bit of creep being targeted. And once this base gets set up, we do have a 4th base here for Ryung. 72 to 65 workers. Look, I'm not saying this is the greatest setup that Ryung has had in his life, but Serral ain't that rich. Ryung now, I'm not sure if he's trying to catch links or if he's trying to surprise his opponent with movement. Serral practically using map hack with all these burrows, by the way. It's really disgusting. People don't, you know, flame the Zergs hard enough for not using these link burrows as practically observers. They're so freaking strong, man. It's so hard to know as well that they're there, because there's no hint towards it. Okay, these links are trying to run, but actually loses quite a few links. This 5th base is still fairly exposed as well. Oh. Double drop towards the top side. Serral is ready for it. I think this base could be toast, by the way. Like, what do we have? We have like 10 banelings. 2-2 upgrades against 1-1. Oh. I am not loving the vibes here for Serral. Like, if this base goes down, that could be a huge problem. That actually could be such a big freaking problem. Like, infestors need to be big here. They need to go big, actually. They absolutely need to go big. We still have this double drop here. It's just waiting to be sent in the moment he believes stuff is happening. Okay, it's gonna snipe a queen, maybe clear a couple of creep tumors at the same time. We have a fight here, full-on pickup. As, yep, this scan is going to clear a bunch of tumors. Do we get an infestor? Yep, we get an infestor in there. We can still go for the pickup. Oh, banelings do get the connections before the pickup happens. And now Ryung decides to move in further forward. Still has the lead. If he takes out this base real quick, that would be a huge deal. Because Serral really freaking needs it. Infestor has shown up, though. Mine's now coming in as well. Is that going to be good enough? Is it going to be good enough? Couple of links going down. That was big hits. Look at the supplies here, 173 to 167. However, the 5th base survives, which is probably the biggest deal. That is what was most important, as these mines are getting good connections once more. The one bit of criticism, perhaps, that we could hit Serral with. Oh my god, that was such a beautiful move out of Ryung. The aggressive infestor snipes accidentally also catches these banelings. Which kind of made this move backfire, but still, it was cute. Yeah, the bit of criticism that we could have for Serral here is that his anti-mine micro hasn't been perfect. Ryung taking a significant supply lead, now running in with a drop as well at the same time. The clarity of mind here that Ryung is showing is insane as he's pulling ahead in supply, dealing some serious damage. Okay, this is going to get cleaned up. 3-3, however, is on the way. SCVs are going to escape into this 4th base. So we get a double baneling morph. Oh, yep, did get scouted. Dude, Ryung is in a sick position right now. The only thing that he's missing... Well, actually, he already has 5 Marauders. I think the rule is that you want 2 to 3 Marauders per Ultra that is out. And right now we already have 5 Marauders with 3 more on the way. So it's going to be 8 Marauders against 4 Ultras. Now there are Infestors, so that muddies the math a little bit. But we also still have a massive an upgrade lead. 3-3 versus 2-2. Kaiten is plating, not quite done yet, as Ryung moves in very aggressively over here. Mines not quite connecting, which could be considered bad. Could also be considered good, because now we're going to get some big freaking hits. No Kaiten is plating here, as Ryung, I think, needs to continue pushing. He's going to go towards the 6th base. There's just nothing here defensively for Serral. There's a bunch of units in this medevac as well. Look at the freaking medevac count here. Like, this is a crazy powerful force. As these 2 Marauders get the snipe onto that thing. Marauder count here maybe not quite high enough, as we only have 4. There are 4 Ultras as well. I think this is not a fight that you can take right now. We need our backup, but Serral in serious trouble. Down about 20 supply. Needs to stall until at least his Carapace upgrade finishes up. Ryung is going to continue moving back here, kiting, trying to stay alive. Get a big burrow. But a big burrow is not going to be good enough. As Ryung once more was paying attention. All these medevacs pretending to go home. Does Serral buy it? Does Serral believe that this was everything? Ryung's movement honestly is insane. Like, he's done so many moves where... Okay, this is a good scan as well. Look at that! Sneaks by, he's gonna get the kill here on this hatchery. Fantastic, actually fantastic play. Such a good move. That medevac move home into the snipe, the scan over here into the snipe, that was freaking surreal. Tricking Serral is no easy feat, and Ryung has been doing it pretty consistently as he backs in with these medevacs, sees that there's units here, decides not to go. Once more, rapidly moving into positions to snipe bases rather than clearing the creep first. So it is a much quicker response is needed here out of Serral. This fight was extremely good for the Zerg though. And Serral also still finds ways to deal counter damage, like Lynx going in different places. We have Lynx being burrowed over here. Now these medevacs are going back home. Could try and maybe go towards the left side. No, it's just gonna unload once more. Maybe to try and clear this base. We have a triple drop over here on the left. We have an army in the middle. This is all, by the way, just very mid-gamey. You know, this is the 45-year-old in the club, you know? Still wishing he was in his 20s. That's what Ryung is doing right now. It is not Marine Mine Marauder medevac time anymore. It is time for Ghost, okay? It is time to grow up right now. This is not where we want to be in our lives. Concussive Shells is coming in, but we either need to transition into either Liberator or Ghost. And if you're doing neither, you're not winning this. This doesn't win against Serral. I've seen him play too many times. I like Liberators. I think they're often good. Oh, I love this double back, by the way. Oh my god, he does it again. Dude, Serral's just consistently getting tricked, although maybe it's also Ryung that's getting tricked a little bit here, because he does lose his own fort base. This hatch is definitely gonna fall. Oh, there you go, goes down. A couple more Lynx getting taken out here as well. CC moves towards the right side. Ooh, splits in a kind of a weird way. Oh, snipes the infestor. What is this split? But it was just for an infestor snipe. Moves quickly onto the creep here in the middle. One of the most impressive things out of Serral, I think, is his ability to kind of respread that creep the entire time, because he's lost quite a few tumors. Wish we could see how many exactly, but don't know how to pull up that stat. This was some big infestor hit. This was really bad. This was extraordinarily bad for Ryung here. Oh my god. Yeah. Infestor Ultra just requires like something else. I think Marine Marauder is just not up for the task. They're just not good enough. Like, you're not getting the fights that you need. The SCVs need to start repairing over here. Ryung is gonna full pull back, needs to repair with way more units. It's actually gonna clear majority of the Ultras. The problem is just that Serral right now has been taking decent trades, 23k to 17k. This base has not been mining enough. Gonna get a run by over here into this base. I mean, a single Ultra that gets added into this group is going to completely crush this. And that's exactly what Serral's doing. 2 Ultras, 20 more Lynx. He's gonna run in. This base is toast. Like, without Liberators, this is not... You cannot fight this. It is simply not possible. And I think this is the reality that Ryung needs to face fairly soon. I mean, he's been doing very well, but not well enough. He's tried to play this very high momentum style, but the moment you lose momentum, you cannot play a high momentum style anymore. Okay, it's not how it works. Gonna get a scan. Oh, he's afraid of burrowed infestors, actually. Good unburrow there on the mine. Did not want to waste that hit. I guess now it hits nothing, so not sure how good it was. Okay, this base is toast. Serral's just playing very objective based at this point. He's like, okay, I probably have slightly more income. I have a slightly bigger bank. I'm just gonna keep clearing your fort. I'm gonna keep clearing your 5th base and make sure that I get 6, 7, 8 bases up myself. And he can do this because his traits are going to be good enough against this type of army. Like, we're not going to see Ryung keep 196 supply and kill 20 Ultras. And that's something you can see when you're playing Ghost or you're playing Liberators. Like, these fights, they're going to remain relatively close. So Serral can just play the money game. And he is fantastic at the money game, let me tell you. And his setup is great for the money game as well, because he has 85 workers against 50. Now, this is not at all what you want. Oh, here comes an infestor. It's going to connect with a bunch of these Marauders once more. And every single time one of these trades happens, the game swings a little bit further in Serral's favor. Look at this, the map hacking Zerglings burrowed underneath. It's going to pull the trigger here on this army. As Ryung moves out of position, loses another base. No? Ooh, Serral actually wants to move back in right now. Okay, that's different than what I had expected. Serral's actually kind of losing some fights. A little bit harder than I thought he would. Marauder count of 22, maybe good enough. Ryung keeps pushing him further forward. Problem is that he just doesn't have the cash. He doesn't have the cash. He cannot reinforce this position. And Serral, what do you have? He has so much cash in the bank. He has a lot of income. He has an army that can still fight with at least one more time, maybe 2 more times, maybe 3 more times. And I think this base is going to be in a world of trouble right now as reinforcers are coming in, trying to take out an Ultralisk. Links moving forward, mines being taken out. No Banelings to quickly clear this. But we see 9 more on the way. 15 out already, 17 more on the way. There's going to be about 30 Banes here, blasting into a planetary that is one of Ryung's last mining bases. Third is mining out. Second, the natural has already mined out. We're going to go for an attack onto the top right, but that means that this position becomes significantly more exposed. And yeah, Ryung's not going to be capable of keeping this. Trading a base for a base is really fun if you're up in bases. If you're down in bases, not quite as funny. And I think Ryung is about to realize that as well. It's like, holy crap, that was not a good time at all. And Links are moving in with the adrenal glands. They're at least holding this for a little. I do believe that this base eventually is going to fall. Like, the Marauder damage output is just a little bit too high, but yeah, Serral's just having the time of his life here right now. He is having the time of his life. He still has a base up here. He's rebuilding this base. He has 5 patches, 4 patches, 4 over here, and then it's like 13. This thing he's going to rebuild as well. He's fine. He has the drones. He's going to have the hatcheries relatively soon as well again. And I mean, this base is going to get sniped. That is a pretty big deal, but this is not even a planetary anymore. Like, the income pretty much tells the tale at this point. Although, I do have to say that if Ryung manages to take one more good fight, that this could start getting a little bit scary. 86 to 42 workers. Army supply is even, and there's no bank right now for Serral. So right now, if we were to have a really bad fight for Serral, he would lose the entire left side. And losing the entire left side probably means that he loses the entire game. So Ryung is finding something, at least, as this army is not getting spotted. Serral not paying attention there, which is honestly quite rare. At the same time, we have a fight going on over here. This base in some trouble once more, but this base is dead. So a base for a base. As these ultras are fighting off creep, which is surprising. Fungal's going to connect with just 3 units. It's not enough, but army supplies actually remain fairly similar. Ryung just getting more and more all in, the more SCVs he loses, because he cannot replace them, cannot replace the bases. Serral still 3k mineral income. I think Serral can just give up this base at this point as well and just kind of come back home with his entire army, flank this, and usually be okay with everything. Medevac count is high, but completely out of energy. Overall, we have 10 medevacs, but none of them can actually heal, so this is going to be one of the last stims that we will actually see as the Fungal connects in a big way here. Serral is chomping his way to victory here with these Ultralisk guys. Ryung has to tap out. A fun series, 1 game of Bio with a 2 Rex and 1 game of Mech. Both will end up going to Serral as he wins this with a 2-0 score, but a good attempt out of Ryung for sure. The Finn just a little bit too strong.